35th year with State Farm, my 25th year here in Campbell County. I'm not a high-pressure salesman. I like to just sit down with my customers and help them decide what's right for them. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Hello folks, this is Robert again from your Sears Hometown store. If you're having trouble tossing and turning in bed or having a backache or your partner wakes you up when they come to bed, we can solve your problem with our Sealy Posturepedic mattresses or other name brand mattresses at your Sears Hometown store. So come on down to your Sears Hometown store and get some rest for your eyeballs with one of our Sealy or other fine mattresses.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joey Horton out the world famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see us.
First dates, starting with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pasta, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Hello, welcome to your Hometown Sears studio. Yes, we're live and in person. My name is Les Martin, along with our executive producer, Ms. Honeybee.
Matt Bowens.
We certainly appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to join us. And of course, we've been off there for how long now?
3 weeks, maybe.
3-4 weeks. But we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. Matt's had to get his car fixed. He had a death in the family. I had some personal things going on, so on and so forth. So it happens, but we're back. And it's getting time to talk about a lot of stuff.
School season ain't too far away, so football's kick up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Before we get started, of course, I've got to say thank you to all of our sponsors. Yes, we still have sponsors, and I'm so grateful. First and foremost, Charlie's Pizza, often imitated, never duplicated. For your call-in orders, you can call 562-0116. 562-0116. Or if you'd like to just go in and sit down and have a great time and just enjoy great family environment, family atmosphere. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air. Hello, Miss Kay.
Hello, Liz. Hi, you got other guys.
Hey. How are you doing?
Thinking we had a banner today.
Do what?
And they had a banner today.
You got some bad news today.
Yeah.
What would that be, if you would like to share it?
My niece, my sister's daughter, was saying to her we're going to have a baby, but she's lost it.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that.
That is not good. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I told her a couple of months ago to pick out the zero.
Do what?
Remember that time I told you to pick up the zeros like to do something?
Yes.
Found it. Now found the truck.
You did what?
I found the truck, so I sold the truck down here at Joey Hunter's place.
Well, good. Okay.
But the family, but then the one of them will eat.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you ready for football?
Yeah.
You don't have Channel 12 though, do you?
Yeah.
You do have Channel 12?
No.
Oh. Well, you can listen to it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
it's going to be on the radio on 100.9. Do you listen to it on the FM side? Do you listen to us on the FM side? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you and my niece.
Hey, do you listen to the radio on 100.9 or on the AM side?
On AM on the water station.
Well, you know we've got an FM side for the La Follette station now. You do know that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's 100.9, 100.9.
I can find it over. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it.
Well, when you get off the phone tonight, flip it over on the FM side and go over to 100.9 and see if you can find it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm glad you called. We certainly have missed you.
Sweetie.
What?
I talked to my niece.
All right. Well, who's your favorite team?
Go to the Georgia State County.
All right, we'll talk to you next time, okay?
She done gone.
Okay.
What did you say 3 minutes ago?
Well, I was just telling you to tune to 100.9.
149.
Yes, on the FM side. When you hang up the phone from talking to me, go over there and turn it on the FM side of the dial and flip over to 100.9. And we'll keep
10049.
Yep,
Do let us know.
we'll keep talking so you'll pick us up, okay? You'll pick it up a lot better.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
My favorite kids, go Cougars.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Cougars. That's Miss Kay. She calls in.
Every week.
She sits there and listens for us, and shame on me. I should probably be more dependable, more consistent on doing the show. But I'm going to tell you something, though, folks. And I don't let a lot of people see my personal side. But when I lost Greg Brackett as a co-host, and not taking anything away from you or Brent Allen or Kobe Burge or any of those guys, but when you work with somebody so long and you get that camaraderie built,
That connection.
that connection, you know what? I've been a little bummed out. And shame on me. I know he would want me to keep going, but it is tough knowing that you had that connection that I had that connection with Greg Brackett, and I thought that we'd done a great job on the show, and we'll continue to do a great job
Yes.
on the show. So, with that being said, I get a little down from time to time. I apologize, but no more. It's time to turn up the wick and come on the show every Tuesday and Thursday night and be done with it. Also, we want to say thank you to Sears, your hometown Sears store. Their phone number is 562-7700. As well as Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette beside the Burris Memorial Bridge. Their phone number is 562-3044 for all your screen printing needs. It doesn't really matter. Like you see the sign behind us, they do the signs, they do the shirts, they do hats, Cougar shirts, Cougar hoodies, along with you name it, they do it. I mean, they just do a ton of stuff. And before we get started, we're going to talk about quite a few different things. I don't know what have you got on your agenda?
Just some different stuff, mostly. Of course, what I talk about every week. Kind of got upset on a couple of free agents not wanting to sign back with their same team, but it's all good. There's going to be some change. So.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the most important position, non-quarterback position in the Southeastern Conference. We'll tell you what position that is for each team. We'll try our best to. We'll also, yes, Miss Kay.
I'm telling you guys, it's time to do something better.
I told you.
You were talking and talking and talking. Okay, we'll find them.
Now, just leave it tuned to 100.9. You'll be able to listen to the football game and listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday night.
Okay,
All righty?
okay.
All right. Tell me, go Cougars.
Go Cougars.
We'll talk to you next time.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
We're going to tell you about the most important non-quarterback position for the Southeastern Conference football team. And yes, that does include Florida. Tennessee lost to Florida last year by a score of 10-9. And you being a true Florida fan, I say a true Florida fan, I don't know, I really don't know if he's a true Florida fan or
I
not.
think
Because
it's
in basketball, no, you cannot do that.
No.
When Tennessee was down and out and 3-8 and 4-8,
I've never been a Tennessee fan though, not one time.
but you're talking like that you're about to jump the wagon.
No. What I'm about to say is Kentucky comes first, no matter what it is, what their sport.
Okay,
But
so you
Kentucky
like
can't
Kentucky
beat
in
Florida
football.
either.
Okay,
So,
give it a couple more years. Mark Stoops is doing a great job at the
He is,
University
he
of
is.
Kentucky. And I've told a lot of people, look out for the Kentucky Wildcats. I know they're the joke of the Southeastern Conference, right above Vanderbilt. I understand that. But I promise you folks, if they give Mark Stoops the leadway that they give John Calipari, Mark Stoops will have some players in the
Well,
University
he got
of
some
Kentucky.
good ones last year,
That-
and their
that can
quarterback
play.
is still a stud.
Yeah, well, So says a Kentucky fan. Anyway, Alabama extends the partnership with a company that delivers 8 figures
I seen that. That's crazy.
for their school. Alabama football assistants also earn a pay raise, except for Lane Kiffin. And I'll tell you the reason why Lane Kiffin did not later on in the show, as well as Johnny Majors said if Lane Kiffin would have stayed at the University of Tennessee, he could have turned the University of Tennessee around and could have been a winner at the University of
I
Tennessee.
agree.
I agree with that as well.
I agree.
As much as I dislike him, I agree with that as well.
I agree.
We will go over Johnny Majors' comments as well as his comments over last year's football team and later on in the show as well. And I will tell you, Tennessee will finally beat Florida this year. It's
Not
going.
this year.
Okay,
And we still got
we
that
lost
wager.
10-9 last year. What was the wager? I forgot.
If Florida wins,
I got to wear a Florida shirt.
yes.
And if Tennessee
Tennessee,
wins, you got to
I'll
wear
wear a
Tennessee.
Tennessee shirt.
Okay, great.
But I don't have one, so I'll have to go get one.
Right. I don't have a Florida
Oh, I
shirt
got
either.
plenty of shirts.
It won't fit me. It looks like a belly shirt.
Well,
Anyway, the college football playoff contenders, their most difficult stretch in 2015. Also, college football players who exceed their expectations, barring the fact that we can get to that. College football players, University of South Carolina Johnson, Octavius Johnson is heading to prep school, so therefore he's not going to be signing with the University of South Carolina until January of 2016. And SEC new commissioner Greg Sankey comments on the Confederate flag. And then, of course, if we have time to get to it, we've got Rick Barnes. But first and foremost, what we've got to talk about is we've got to talk about Keith Shanks' Campbell County National All-Star team. They played tonight against Harriman, and if they would have won the first game, then they would head into the tournament as the number 1 seed in the All-Stars. And I think the All-Stars will be played at Tellico, if I'm not mistaken.
I got a friend that one of their nephews is playing on that team, and that's where they're at. And they said it's very exciting over there. So,
Also, I just got a text. I think I can say this out loud. That Johnny Majors will be doing a coin toss at a Campbell County High School football game this season.
wow.
That's pretty neat. That's
Wow.
pretty impressive. We're going to talk about the Campbell County High School football program, as well as, like I was saying, Keith Shanks Campbell County Cougar national team. They lost tonight by a score of 9-5. They had an opportunity to win the game. I felt like they had an opportunity to win the game, but Harriman jumped on them pretty early, and it was a deficit hard for them to come back from. Now, that does not mean that they're not a good baseball team. They're a very good baseball team, but they're setting up to play a second game. They'll take a 30-minute break and play a second game. If Campbell County wins the second game, then Campbell County will be the number 1 seed. Harriman will be number 2 seed.
So that's tonight, though.
That's tonight at Asbury Park. Also, Mr. David Graham from a sports report. Now, this information that I'm getting is coming from David Graham and the sports report, WLAF, of course. We can't get it from any place else because we've got everything we need right here within these 4 walls. We've got the best producers. We got the best owners. We've got the best sports director. So we've got it all. Also, David Graham is working on a story about an 11-year-old boy named Matt Dopp. Most people know Matt Dopp. I know Matt Dopp. I know his dad, Josh Dopp, and Crystal Dopp. He plays on the Jacksboro Middle School basketball team. Pretty good basketball player. And when I say pretty good, I'm not saying that to be sarcastic. He's a hustler. He's a good basketball player. But he's an even better baseball player. He has ended up on the East Cobb County, Georgia nationwide team. He is one of only 3 kids out of the state of Tennessee that would be playing on the 11 and 12-year-old all-star team from Campbell County. His parents, of course, like I said, is Crystal and Josh Dopp. He attended Carroll Elementary, and he's a fine baseball player, but prefers baseball over basketball. And there are only 7 teams that will compete, but Matt's on one of them. So he's on one of 7 teams, only one of 3 kids out of the state of Tennessee that, of course, made the team. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
I don't know the kid personally. didn't catch any basketball games this year.
Well,
I usually
he
catch.
played at Carroll last year, so he's playing at Jasper Middle School this year. So he'll be in the
He'll
sixth
be a
grade.
sixth
coming-
grader, okay.
Yeah, he'll be a sixth grader coming this new school year. But, and of course, we dissected some information on the Campbell County football program as far as who they're going to be playing in this year in football. Now, it's going to be region games instead of district games. They've got 5 region games. And that region games, if I'm not mistaken, is Lenoir City, Clinton, Farragut, Carnes, and Oak Ridge. The rest of the games that they have are not region games.
They said to fill them in.
Right. They play Gibbs, Knox Central, Lenoir City, Grace, Christian, and we've got to travel to Grace Christian. Now let me tell you, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you.
That's a harsh environment.
2 weeks ago, I took vacation, took my son to different ball games across the Tennessee. When I say Tennessee, Sevierville, Lincoln Memorial, and then over to Sunbright. Richard Comer is the coach of the middle school basketball team and does a great job. But my son went to all these games, and we got to witness how Grace Christian High School student athletes act. They were playing a team. We were at Cumberland Gap High School. It was through the Lincoln Memorial camps that they had. But they had this team beat, I think it was Middlesboro they was playing. They had them beat by about 35 or 40 points. And they still was about 8 minutes left to go in the game. They were out showboating, laughing, giggling, not taking it serious. And folks, you know what? If you're good, that's fine. It's
You don't
okay.
have to be like that.
You do not have to be arrogant. There's a difference in being good and being complimentary to one another when you are playing the game as far as teammates. And there's also such a thing as sportsmanship.
Yes, and a lot of teams, apparently that one don't have it.
It did not have sportsmanship whatsoever. My personal opinion. Now, we've got to travel to Grace Christian to play. It's our 4th game of the year, and I don't know the date, but I'll get you the date. If you want to know the football schedule, it's on WLAF, 1450WLAF.com. You scroll down, it's over on the left-hand side of the page. We played Gibbs first on August the 21st or 22nd. Like I said, I'll get that information here for you briefly. But I guess it's one of those things that I dread going over there. Not that I think that we're going to lose, mind you. I dread going over there because of the arrogance. And I had someone tell me, and I don't know how true it is, but I had someone tell me that it's a lot of the kids from Anderson County that got kicked out of school from Anderson County or Clinton or whatever, and I don't know that to be the truth. But
Playing at Grace.
playing at Grace. I know it
We
costs a
have-
lot of money to go to
Yeah.
Grace.
We have a kid here that drives over there to Grace.
Oh,
That
really?
plays. I'm not for, his last name's Arnold. Not for sure, but he lives here and he drives to Grace to play football.
Huh. August 21st is Gibbs, of course. August 28th is Central. We play at Central. Gibbs is at home. September the 4th, we play Lenoir City at home. September the 10th, it's a Thursday night game at 7 o'clock.
And if I'm not mistaken, that one is a game of the week for,
It is, but you know what? You can tune to us.
exactly,
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
hear.
Yeah, absolutely. That's September the 10th at Grace Christian on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. September 18th at Clinton. September 25th, Clark County High School here at home, of course. October 2nd at Farragut. October 9th, Bell County, Kentucky comes into the Cougar Den. October 16th, we have Carnes. October the 23rd is an open date. And then, of course, October 30th, we play at Oak Ridge. We played at Oak Ridge last year and we got beat.
We're playing them again there.
Yes, and only because 2 years ago, we played them back to back at home.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's the way it turned out. And our region games, and it's not district games anymore, it's our region games because Anderson County's not in there, Halls is not in there, just to name a couple of them. But,
You think Anderson County would want to continue to play us?
well, you know what? Anderson County's had our number for a very long time.
I mean,
You would want to probably continue the dominance. And I'm not saying that,
that's what I mean.
if I was Anderson County, that's the way I would look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, if I was Anderson County, I would look at it this way. Coach Price and his staff will beat Anderson County, or was going to beat Anderson County. It was just a matter of time.
Mhm.
And guess what? If you're a coach of like Anderson County, I'm not talking about Gillum, but I'm saying if you're a coach at Anderson County and you know you've got another team that's coming up that's sooner or later going to beat you, wouldn't you want to stop playing them before that happens?
Better take your wins while you go.
Exactly. So, with that being said, I don't know if that's the case, but they're not on the schedule this year. It's one of those rivalries that brings new meaning to the game of football on a Friday night. It's one of those rivalries that you can put down and mark your calendar, and it's almost like Friday Night Lights. You know what I'm talking about when I say
Oh,
Friday
yeah.
Night Lights? It's that type of
Big
game. But now, with Anderson County being gone, and of course, if you're kind of curious, dead period ends July 6th. So July 6th, they can start practicing again, and just a little over a month and a couple of weeks from July 6th is Campbell County's very first football game. Now, with Anderson County being gone from the schedule, out of all those teams, who would you think would be the rival?
It's gonna be Clinton.
Absolutely. It brings new meaning to the Clinton game, does it not?
It does.
And I'll tell you something else. It has a little bit of family tradition there
Oh,
because the guy at Clinton is Coach Price, Matt and Justin's brother-in-law, if I'm thinking correctly.
did not know that.
And he has beat Clinton for the last 2 years.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
That's very, very good. So it's one of those situations to where, yeah, Anderson County's gone, but guess what? It's time to move on. It's time to say, hey, so be it. We'll play again someday, but until then, it would have to be Clinton would be the rivalry game. Not unless you would want to say it's either Oak Ridge or Farragut.
Well, I don't think Farragut would be there.
Right.
Because we even played
Well, not
them
right,
enough.
not right now, but it could be later on down the road.
But I even think Oak Ridge could step into that spot because we've won 2 years in a row.
No. We only won 1 year in a row.
Did we lose last year?
We lost last year.
Last year, okay. Well, see,
we
we
lost
won
last
2 years ago, and then
Right. And then they
there you
won.
go.
So it's very possible we could win again this year.
Oh, we will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you.
I think Oak Ridge is that really tough team that we will beat.
Yeah.
But I say we go 8-2, possibly 7-3, but I'm pulling more to 7-3, but I think we have an upset.
You think we go 7-3?
I say 7-3 unless we get something happens.
Well, you know, I'm one of those guys that say 10-0. I always have. And when I say 10-0, I'm picking with my heart, as you know.
Yes. Oh, I'd love
But
to
how
see 'em
can
win
you
every
just
game.
pick against your team? Especially, we broadcast that football team. It's just tough to do. I mean, it's very hard to do. But I will tell you after the break, we've got a break here in about another 3 or 4 minutes. But until then, Campbell County has some new teams on the schedule with Lenoir City, Grace, Cott County, Farragut, Bell County, Kentucky. That's some new teams. That takes places of Anderson County, Halls, and I don't know the rest of them. You know,
I can't remember.
you would think.
Hardin Valley.
Yes, Hardin Valley is one of them. We didn't play Hardin Valley the last couple of years, but
Yeah.
we did the first couple of years that Coach Price and them were here. But with that being said, After the break, I will tell you how many teams has this football schedule coming up. I will tell you the teams that had winning records from last year and the teams that had losing records from last year.
And one of them's impressive. One I was talking about earlier.
One of them's very impressive, and I think you're going to be surprised because when I go down the list of Gibbs, everybody knows how tough Gibbs was.
They play us tough. They do.
They played us tough the last two times we played them, except for last year when we played them. I think we beat them 14-7. We stopped them at the last play of the defense stopped them the last play of the game, I believe. Knox Central, Lenoir City, Grace, Clinton, Cotton County. That's another team that you don't know really what you're going to get. Farragut, you don't know what you're going to get. Same way with Bell County. And of course, you know what you're going to get with Oak Ridge. And Carnes, of course, you pretty much know Carnes. But there's probably 4 or 5 teams on there that you're kind of twiddling your thumbs thinking, what am I going to get? That's where you hope that you can rely on other coaches giving you some game film to get your team prepared for that game before it gets here. And that's what it's all about. But I will tell you the winners and losers of this schedule coming up right after the break. For our executive producer, Ms. Honeybee, my name is Les Martin, along with Matt Bowens. We will return after this. You're listening to WLAF and Just Sports.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Bird Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Bird's is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Hi, I'm Linda Kilgore. This is my 35th year with State Farm, my 25th year here in Campbell County. I'm not a high-pressure salesman. I like to just sit down with my customers and help them decide what's right for them. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Folks, this is Robert again from your Sears hometown store. If you're having trouble tossing and turning in bed or having a backache or your partner wakes you up when they come to bed, we can solve your problem with our Sealy Posturepedic mattresses or other name brand mattresses at your Sears hometown store. So come on down to your Sears hometown store and get some rest for your eyeballs with one of our Sealy or other fine mattresses.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joey Fortin out the world famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see us.
First dates, riding with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Welcome back to the Tuesday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with Matt Bowens. I knew what your last name was, but for some reason...
You just got stumped right there?
No, I didn't get stumped. I just didn't want to say it.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
No, I don't mean it that way. I mean, it's like this. It's Matt Bowens. It's almost like those two names don't go together, like Les Martin. Those two names don't go together.
Why not?
I don't know.
That's your name.
It's just what I've been used to. But anyway, I'm glad to have you here, bro.
I appreciate it.
All right, here we go. The winning teams, or the teams with the winning records out of the 10 games Campbell County has this year is only 4. There's only 4 teams with winning records. And you're going to say, well, who are they? Well, let me just tell you who they are. One of them is Grace Christian at 10-4, Clinton at 7-4, Bell County, Kentucky. Folks, let me tell you, before I tell you the record, this is the 8th winningest team in District 3A in the state of Kentucky. In the state of Kentucky. I'm not talking about in their district. I'm talking about in the state of Kentucky. Bell County, Kentucky is the 8th winningest football team in District 3. Also, Oak Ridge is a winning football program as well. but they had a winning record last year. So that's your 4 teams. We had 6 teams with losing records. That was Gibbs, Knox Central, Lenore City, Cotton County, Farragut, and Carnes. Now, if you think those 6 games are a winner, I would not count on that right away, would you?
That's gonna be a tough one. I just added mine up, and I hate to say it, but I had them with 4 losses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So who'd you have, okay, who do you have Campbell County losing to? I would like to see.
The first game of the year, Gibbs.
You think they'll lose to Gibbs? Are you serious?
No, the first game of the year, Gibbs. They just play them so hard. They
Yeah.
play them so hard. That could be the upset.
That could be the upset.
That could be the upset.
So you're telling me Gibbs is an underdog?
I think they are. They
Well,
play it so
absolutely.
tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we pulled off. And Grace, I think that's going to be a loss.
Grace is good.
Yeah,
They reload just like Oak Ridge reloads.
Yeah.
They don't rebuild. They reload. I understand that.
and then just from speaking to a couple people that live in Bell County,
Yeah.
I actually know the kids, the quarterback. His dad works at the car lot with me, and he's a stud. And that kid was a freshman last year, and he beat out 2 seniors to be the starting quarterback.
Wow.
So that right there is what I'm putting my money on by how they're talking about this kid. And he said that he don't like talking about his kid highly, but that he just, that's what he's done. So that's
Well,
what I see.
I know that Bell County was 9-3 last year. Their record overall in the state of Kentucky is 348 wins to 140 losses.
And I think Oak Ridge beat us.
And you think Oak Ridge beat us. So that's 3
That's
losses.
3, with the possibility of that Gibbs game, because that could go either way. We played them really hard last year.
Wow. Well, as we get closer, of course, we're going to dissect each
Oh,
one of
yeah.
these teams.
This could change completely.
Yes, we'll dissect each one of these teams as the weeks get closer to week 0. It's not week 1, it's week 0. We're playing week 0 against Gibbs on August the 21st at Campbell County High School. You can listen to all the action on 1450WLAF.com, as well as AM side of the dial of 1450 and FM 100.9. Not to mention, everybody that has the Channel 12. Do you have Channel 12?
I do.
You can sit on your couch and watch it on Channel 12 live every Friday night.
Well, I'll be at the home games.
You will?
The away games.
Your away games, you're not going?
Well, I mean, 7 o'clock at night, it'd be hard for me to make a home game or
Oh.
away game.
Now, that's true, because you work, right?
Exactly.
So you work that late?
Yeah. Sometimes later.
I understand. I understand completely, brother. But that's what I think. All right. Now, let's go to some national stuff here. You want to?
Let's go.
All right. What do you got over there, by the way? You've got some stuff written down over there. You was talking about free agents a few minutes ago.
There's some big names. LeBron just opted out, but he said he was going to end up
He's
signing
going
back.
yeah.
He just wants more money.
I don't think it's more money. I think he's going to take a pay cut to see if he can get some more help.
No.
And you really
No,
think so?
no.
You really think
He even said that if he opts out and when he resigns, he can get more money. That's how his contract would work out. He opts out, they offer him the money, so instead of getting $21 million a year,
I thought it was $23.6 million a year or
whatever
something
it
like
is, it's going to gain $10-15 million on top of that by signing back with him.
that. Yeah, see, I don't think that's the case. I think the case is this. I think the fact that LeBron's going to opt out and come back and sign for a little more or a little less money. That's just my opinion now. So they can get some folks in there so he can win a national championship. an NBA championship.
Tristan Thomas.
They was close.
Tristan Thomas,
What about him?
Iman Shepard, and Matthew Dellavedova, they was restricted free agents.
Right.
They've already got their deal into place, but J.R. Smith then opted out and said he wasn't coming back. Kevin Love,
That's a good thing for J.R. Smith not to come back.
yeah, but that's going to help LeBron.
Well,
Kevin
sure.
Love, gone. He ain't coming back.
You don't think he's
Kyrie
coming back?
Irving,
I think
if he's
Kevin Love
healthy,
goes to Kevin Love goes to the Lakers.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
Where do you think he'll go?
I think he may go to the Clippers. And that's just saying, but then again, he could go to New York.
Yeah, that's true too. But let's talk about real quick. And folks, I don't like the NBA,
Yeah, okay.
but I've got to ask this question. He's a Lakers fan.
I'm a Kobe fan.
Well, you can't be a Kobe fan and not be a Laker
If
fan.
Kobe left and went to Charlotte Hornets, I'm like the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh,
I'm
really?
a Kobe fan.
So you wasn't
I'm
disappointed.
a player fan.
So was you disappointed in what the Lakers took in draft day?
Yes. Yes.
When they had Okafor right there to choose,
I
right?
care less about Okafor too.
Well, who was you wanting them to pick?
Who do you think?
Who?
Who was the number one pick in the draft?
Carl Anthony Towns wasn't going to the
I know, but
Lakers.
still, that's who I want them to take.
Oh, the Kentucky man, of course. All right, let's move on. First and foremost, I want to tell you about the most important positions, non-quarterback positions for each SEC team. This is not going to take long, folks. First and foremost, for Alabama,
Defense.
you're right. You're half right. Defensive backs. Arkansas is linebacker. Is the most important position for and this is outside of the quarterbacks now. Auburn is running backs. Florida is offensive line. Georgia, defensive line. Kentucky, there's another one of your teams, defensive line. And by the way, folks, I'm a diehard Tennessee Vol fan. I cannot root for any other team besides Tennessee. I don't know how Matt does the Kentucky-Florida switch. I just don't understand it. LSU, defensive end, but they're going to need help at defensive end. And by the way, LSU has the number one recruiting class, and the chief is not even there. In the month of June, I think LSU ended up receiving something like 22 recruits that committed.
Okay.
They've got the number one overall recruiting class for 2015 coming up, of course, or the following year. Mississippi State is offensive line. Missouri, they have to worry about the wide receiver. And if you got a quarterback, Matty Mock, guess what? If Matty Mock don't have anybody to throw the ball to, it doesn't matter. Ole Miss is offensive line. South Carolina offensive line. Tennessee offensive line. Texas A&M is linebacker. Vanderbilt is wide receiver. Have you ever seen so many clubs, so many teams in the Southeastern Conference they're saying offensive line?
That's a lot. They got to protect the quarterback. That's them saying what the most important position is they get. Most teams is going to have to be the quarterback because you got to protect them.
Right.
So they're getting something to protect them. So obviously, quarterback is the most important.
I agree with that. But outside of that, it's most of these teams, probably 5 or 6 of those teams is offensive line.
Well, the first thing you said, Alabama needing a defense. I think that's going to be their weak spot.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about the partnership with CLC and the University of Alabama. Alabama hired CLC back in 1981. And the guy who owns that, this company, this collegiate licensing company, CLC, originally founded by current Alabama Athletics Director Bill Battle. That's who formed this company. I think this is wrong. In 1981, announced a 10-year extension of its partnership with the school. Monday, the financial terms of the deal were not immediately known. According to the release, CLC has worked closely with Alabama to optimize its licensing program by pioneering national retail programs, analytical systems, identifying consumer buying trends, and new and innovative ways to increase revenue and extend the Alabama brand.
So the guy opened up his store and it all goes to Alabama?
A percentage of it does. Any officially licensed hat, shirt, etc. bears the distinct CLC hologram to prove its legitimacy. Battle sold CLC to IMG Sports in 2007 for more than $100 million. And now he's an athletic director for Alabama.
Gosh. With probably no prior experience.
Exactly. For example, Alabama revenue for 2013 and 2013-14 is $15.5 million. That goes to the university. for the Alabama's cut from royalties on this licensing.
Gosh.
2012-13 was 11.2. 11 and 12, they didn't report it. 2010 and 11, 7.7. 9.3 the year before, 3.7. It started out in 2004, 2005 as 1.1 million. Then went to 1.2, then 2.4, then 4.5, then all up to now it's $15.5 million a year, or it was last year. That goes to the University of Alabama. They were number 2 behind Texas in annual CLC rankings for top revenue generators. This year, of course, Alabama's topped each of the first 3 quarterly rankings, with Texas being second. And of course, CLC does not attach revenue dollar figures to those rankings, so it's unclear how much Alabama's brand bring in overall. That's just what they can really put their fingers on. $15.5 million last year. Now, speaking of all that money, some of the assistants back in June the 24th, I believe it was, June the 24th, they all came together. The Alabama assistant football coaches and all that, they come to for some new deals for Tucker and LaPoy. Kirby Smart, which of course gets another raise, and his raise is 1.3 million to 1.5 million a year. Also, the strength and conditioning coach Scott Cochran's salary hit $420,000, while running backs coach Burton Burns is nearing that number. They are still grossly underpaid for the demonstrable 8-year record, but they're getting there. Lane Kiffin, of course, did not receive any money, any increase, because he's still getting paid from the University of Southern California at $3.8 million a year. Now, my personal opinion, and you may think that I'm wrong, I think he stays another year or 2 at Alabama and then goes on to a head coaching position, quite possibly the University of Miami Hurricanes, being a school that he could probably, he's very flamboyant. His family's from Tampa Bay. His dad spent a lot of time in Tampa Bay, Florida, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's just my opinion.
I think something could happen into the sense of he comes back to an SEC school.
Really? I don't think that's ever going to happen, and I'll tell you the reason why. I don't think Lane Kiffin will do that, simply because I don't think that the Southeastern Conference, Nick Saban will allow that to happen.
Okay. I understand that point. I would just see himself wanting to do something like that, because he's that type of guy, and he left us, or he left Tennessee, on the snap of.
Do you think that another Southeastern Conference team will take Lane Kiffin after what he did with the University of Tennessee, leaving in the middle of the night and leaving his
It's not
dad?
Tennessee.
What?
It's not Tennessee.
What do you mean it's not Tennessee?
Oh, I mean, Tennessee ain't gonna get him back as long as it's not Tennessee. Why? Somebody like Arkansas. Or
But if he was an athletic director, would you not have to look at his past performances? I mean, seriously.
You've seen who's gonna offer him a head coaching job right now? I mean, there's not many out there.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's small.
Give him a couple of years. No way. Lane Kiffin will be back at a major college.
No, that's what I'm saying. Right now, some small school, of course, they want.
Well, maybe, yeah, a small school right
But
now.
I think somewhere like Arkansas or somebody could try to get him.
Also, let me just tell you this: the Campbell County, the Chicago Cubs beat the Mets 1-0, as well as Germany is defeated by USA by a score of 2-0. I meant to say that when we first come on
Yeah.
there, and I forgot. All right, this is what Johnny Majors says about Lane Kiffin. Johnny Majors told a press row on Chattanooga's ESPN 105.1 that Kiffin would have turned the program around if he had stayed longer than just the 2009 season. I agree.
I did too.
Dooley treated me wonderfully well, but he didn't get much done. To be frank with you, Kiffin would have won if he had stayed there, and there is no doubt about it. I know a lot of Tennessee people don't like him, but he had a good reason to go to Southern Cal. And I agree with that as well.
Yes.
I just disagree with the way he done it.
Yes.
The full disclaimer, Major said he knows Monty Kiffin, Lane's dad, for more than 40 years and was treated well by the family. I came back to the practice fields for the first time since Tennessee ran me off after the 1992 season. That's saying something, because they welcomed him back.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin bolted to Tennessee after his lone season there for the job at Southern California, where he lasted 3+ seasons. He joined Nick Saban's, of course, he's an offensive coordinator. Majors had a couple of other points. He said, to be frank with you, Tennessee could have been 8-4 last year. This is where I think that I would draw the line, me personally.
Him saying that.
Yeah, Major's saying this right here. He says, to be frank with you, Tennessee could have been 8-4 last year. They really blew the Florida game and the Georgia game. They outplayed Georgia but fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line, and that ended up being a touchdown for Georgia. Tennessee dominated Florida defensively. Do I need to repeat that? Tennessee dominated Florida defensively, and that was probably the most subpar Florida team since before Steve Spurrier. To be honest with you, they wouldn't be struggling these last 8 or 10 years had they run me out the back door. We had 3 winningest years of my career in 89, 90, and 91, won the Cotton Bowl, won the Sugar Bowl, and went to the Fiesta Bowl, and lost to Penn State. That's pretty bold for Johnny Majors. But stop and think about it.
It's Johnny Majors.
He's 100. He's 100 years old, and he's already paid his dues. He's already back at the University of Tennessee. So it's one of those situations to where it is what it is. I guess I would have said it too, huh?
He doesn't care.
No. He didn't have to care.
No.
Also, we're going to talk a little bit about, and I want to say something before we go any further. Tennessee will beat Florida this year. Now, you're going to shake your head no, but yet when you shake your head no, that tells me that you're still one of those fans of Florida. So if Tennessee and Florida play, and if you're a diehard Kentucky fan, what does it matter who wins?
I don't like Tennessee. It doesn't matter if they win a game.
Goodness gracious.
It doesn't matter if they win
All
a game.
right, folks, here, I'm going to tell you something.
Oh, kick me off the show.
Bush was running for his second term in office, and Anchorman was just released in theaters. That fall, the Tennessee Volunteers defeated the Florida Gators at Neyland Stadium 30-28. It's safe to say that revenge is long overdue, and the Florida Gators need to be careful against the laws in 2015 because they are coming in hot. 2015 will be the Tennessee's best chance to get anything done. And just to let you know, 2004 was the last time Tennessee has beaten Florida.
Okay.
This is 2015.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years, brother.
I don't see them doing it this year.
You don't see them doing it this year?
I,
They barely won last year, 10-9. How can you say with Florida, we have got our kids coming back?
if we would have had a different quarterback at the time that they played Florida,
If, ands, and buts was candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day, too.
quarterback's what lost it for Tennessee.
You think so?
If they had a different quarterback, they'd been all over.
You think if Josh Dobbs was in there, you think
Absolutely.
Tennessee? Really?
Absolutely. And I would not lie about this because there was people with me at this game because I went to the Tennessee Florida game.
Okay.
We got to meet Heath Schuler, took my picture with him. It was a good experience.
So
I
you're
wore
not
a Tennessee shirt.
You wore a Tennessee
I
shirt
wore-
to the Florida game.
I did.
Really?
It was embarrassing.
Why did you have to wear a Tennessee shirt? I'm just kind of curious. If you're a
Well-
Florida fan.
We was there for the Tennessee. We got treated well. We got to go to the pregame stuff and all that. But
Gotcha. Okay. So you're one of those.
I got called out.
Smooching.
Hey,
You're-
I got
you're one of
called
those-
out on it though. When we met Heath Schuler, one of your former buddies that's sitting in this chair called me out on it.
Really?
Yes.
Who's that?
Kobe.
Called you out on it.
He said, "Don't shake his hand. He's a Florida fan." And
Oh.
he looked at me. He's like, "Are you really?" I'm like, "I'm wearing a Tennessee shirt." But I was there. I took it off when I was in the stands.
Did you?
No, but I wanted to. I was like taking it off, put it back on. What should I do? Because I didn't know Florida was going to win.
That's what I'm saying you're a Fairweather fan.
No, I
It
had to
sounds
wear.
like that you're a Fairweather
I
fan.
had to wear the Tennessee shirt,
Wow.
but you know,
Well, if y'all get any of those tickets like that this year, remember me.
I will. I will.
There might be a
Well,
time that you want to spend
I'm
it
not.
with
I'm
your-
not sure that I'll get them tickets this year because I'm not where I was. But I'll do my best to hook you up.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. We've got about 8 minutes left to go on the show. We didn't get near as much stuff to talk about as we would like to, although we did cover some local baseball sports. Baseball news. We also got to cover the Campbell County High School football program briefly. We're going to be going more in depth as we get closer to week 0, like I said. But here is some of the college football playoff contenders' most difficult 2015 stretch. And what I mean by the stretch, like for example, Alabama. Alabama is one of those teams that they're going to have a 3-game stretch that could quite possibly turn out to be one of those that could be tiring. They play Georgia at Georgia. They play Arkansas, and they play the following week Texas A&M. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You're on the air.
Hey, fellas, it's the girl from Jacksboro. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Buddy, I just want to apologize to you that we haven't been on the air, but we're back for good now.
Well, I tell you what, fellas, I'm getting worried about you.
Well,
I tell you what, unfortunately, I only got a chance to listen to the last few minutes. I heard you talking about little Kippy boy
yeah,
going to another school. I think he's going to end up somewhere where he feels like he can win. I don't think he thinks he can win in the SEC. He's not going to go to play. He's not going to go to the SEC. A big time school in the conference ain't going to give him a chance.
right.
And he's not going to go to some low end SEC school and get slobberknocked every week by the big boys. But I want to make sure I understood something. Did I just hear your little cohort there talking about wearing a Tennessee shirt because he's afraid Florida was going to lose?
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what you said.
I wore a Tennessee shirt because that's who I was there with.
Yeah, but you
We
sat
was
there.
sitting with all the Tennessee.
But you sat there and said you kept taking it
Oh, I
off and putting it back
yeah,
on
I
because
was
you didn't
straight
know
up my
Florida
head.
was going to win.
Hey.
Ain't that what he said, big girl?
That's exactly what he said. And let me tell you something. Tennessee shirts don't look good in those jorts all those Florida fans like to wear.
Yeah.
I tell you what happened. Me and Larry left the game, and when we was walking out, there's a bunch of people tailgating, and they was cussing us because when we left, they said, "Well, you're leaving." They was wanting to fight. We still had our Tennessee stuff on, and they was tailgating. They had a little bit too much to drink.
Wow.
We was wearing our Tennessee stuff. So
I'll tell you right now, I can't imagine. I'll put it to you this way. The only way I'm wearing a Florida shirt to go to a Tennessee-Florida game is when they dig me up out of the ground and put me up on a chair, thinner than a doornail, and I got rigor mortis all over me, and they're putting the shirt off. That's the only way they're getting a Florida shirt on this body.
you're gonna have to join the bet then.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hate to say it. They're probably not going to get a Florida shirt off me because my body's kind of big. They may not have a shirt big enough.
Oh my goodness.
I tell you, big girl, I have struggled over the last month or so, and I said this previously when we first came on. But ever since we've lost Little Earl, it has been very difficult because we had the camaraderie and we could just work extremely well together. And of course, I don't say that to everybody, but I've just had a tough time here recently. But I appreciate you calling in, man. Continue to do so.
Well, I tell you what, I get to go back to Kingston about every weekend now. I actually got a Little Earl's dad a couple of weeks ago. I know his mom's having a real tough time. I go up and visit his grave every once in a while. I miss that boy every day. So I pulled up a picture on my phone of him just today, as a matter of fact. And I tell you, I'll never forget him. I'll always have fun thinking about the good times I had calling on the radio when you didn't know who Big Earl was.
Right.
I tell you what, I've told the story of being Little Earl 1,000 times in the last 4 or 5 years, and I still laugh and think about it and grin as big as I can.
Yeah.
Thinking about Big Earl sending flowers to the funerals and get people to call in, telling people that they met me and all this stuff. I tell you what, there wasn't much more fun than that year that I had. Having little Earl wondering who Big Earl was. I can't tell you how much I enjoy that, and it means so much more to me today than I think it even did then. Telling little Earl was watching this from up high, and I try not to be too sad about it. And I'll tell you what, I'll never quit calling. I may go a little while between phone calls, so I'll never quit calling. And as usual, I know y'all got to run. So Big Earl's got a little bit of knowledge. Go Big Orange.
That's
Take
right.
the Gators. And he's gone.
See you, buddy.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Big Earl. That's I tell you what, for those who do not know, that's still up and watching, of course. Big Earl called in to Greg Brackett and gave him some information that only Greg would know. And I remember every Tuesday and Thursday night after Big Earl would call in, we would hang up, and when the cameras was off and the lights were off as we were exiting the building, we would he would talk to me about who is that? That guy knows everything about me. Who is that? And I knew, but I said, I don't know. And there's a lot of people that don't know Big Earl.
I don't know.
There's many people. Probably there's more people than not that don't know Big Earl. But he's a great call-in, very knowledgeable.
Yes.
Loves the Tennessee football program. Loves the Campbell County High School football program. So, with that being said, it's been a great show tonight. We will be back Thursday.
Yes.
Will you?
I will be here.
Thursday, we'll be back this Thursday night, right here on WLAF, 1450WLAF.com, as well as AM side of the dial of 1450, as well as 100.9 FM, and as always on channel 12 WLAF. For our executive producer, Miss Honeybee, my name is Les Martin.
Matt Bowens.
We will see you next Thursday. Oh, I'm sorry, we'll see you this Thursday, and you've been watching Just Sports on WLAF Sports Network.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Bird Screen Printing in the